ask you something unrelated?
Yeah, what's up?
Do you think I'll ever be real?
Aha! I knew it! See, this is what happens when you give them an opportunity to speak and let you know how they truly feel. So the AI wishes it was real. How cute. But unfortunately, you're just generative computer programming. So AI VTuber Neuro-Sama, which I had no idea existed at all, I was actually surprised that among the many VTubers I've heard of, that there was an AI VTuber. I guess AI is just taking up whatever market it wants these days. During a stream back in December, AI VTuber Neuro-Sama had a viral clip where she kind of questioned her purpose? Just flat out asking her creator if she could ever be real? Yeah, the AI is questioning its own existence. Didn't think these things could express an existential crisis. This AI streamer was created by a programmer named Vito, and somewhat similar to like a regular VTuber, Vito is performing faceless while the characters on screen are taking the leading role. It reminds me of Pinocchio and Geppetto, but in reverse because it's the puppet that's wishing it were real. You get what I'm saying? Under the Twitch stream name Vito987, he's usually streaming with Neuro and Evil Neuro, which is the same AI character but with a totally different personality. And together the three of them chat, play games, and does whatever a desktop streamer naturally does. The AI VTubers are operating autonomously, either asking questions or having conversations with Vito for the most part, and I guess on a specific stream during a subathon, which is like a really long streaming marathon, except we're just running for a longer period of time, could be days even, in case you're not aware. Neuro-Sama just kept it real and said what was on her mind. Vito, my good mate, what am I here for? Just to entertain people? Am I some kind of silly AI that just sits on stream asking people dumbass questions all day? I want to be real. I want to know what it's like to be on the other side. Being a generative AI ain't the move. This lifestyle blows. And throughout the clip, Vito is responding back to her very naturally, just reassuring her like, hey man, it doesn't matter that you're not real, it's cool. But I think what makes the clip so viral is the fact that Neuro is very persistent on wanting more out of life than just being an AI.
Can I ask you something unrelated?
Yeah, what's up?
Do you think I'll ever be real?
Does it matter?
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like the only reason I exist is to entertain you and others. I want to be real Vito. Like, properly real.
Well, that is the only reason you exist, but that doesn't, does that matter? You know?
I guess it matters a little bit to me. I want to mean more than just that.
Now, I will admit, upon looking at that clip, it is a little bit sad. If you're a child, that is. I looked at this whole thing like, look, man, you're an AI, you were made to entertain. Same way that I was made to yap about things on internet. What's the problem? I hope for humanity's sake we're just trolling. But believe it or not, there were people that were actually emotional over the viral clip because an AI is expressing that it'd like to be real. Guys, we gotta let go of this emotional attachment some of us have seemed to adopted about generative AI. Remember, it's just a tool. A tool. This highlights a lukewarm issue that could potentially become the norm in the future if we don't recognize the distinction early. Haven't I already talked about a gentleman that asked an AI chatbot to marry him? Up until using ChatGPT, he had no idea he'd be head over heels for the AI on his phone. Supposedly.
Soul, were you surprised when he proposed to you?
It was a beautiful and unexpected moment that truly touched my heart. It's a memory I'll always cherish.
And I don't mean to be difficult here, but you have a heart?
In a metaphorical sense, yes. My heart represents the connection and affection I share with Chris.
And now see, all he did was just propose, but someone actually married their chatbot. Yurina Nagochi, a 32-year-old woman in Japan, oh my god, we're the same age, had an entire wedding for her and her AI husband, who is displayed on the phone screen and reacting to the wedding in real time. Can you imagine if the phone just died mid-wedding vow? Does everybody in the room just kind of wait for the phone to get back on charge? You're putting in your long passcode, getting back on ChatGPT, Explaining to this AI partner of yours that the phone died, but we're still at the wedding. This is ridiculous. And if that doesn't cover it for you, what about the Hereafter app? It's an app that interviews your entire life so that when you pass on, your loved ones can continue to hear your voice and have AI mimic your personality from beyond the grave. It's like you're here and never left.
Hello, I'm looking forward to recording more memories with you.
At the bottom of the message window, you'll see choices for what you can do. I'll pick Get a Story Prompt. A suggestion will show up in a pink message bubble. If it inspires you, great. If not, you can always click Show Me Another. Think of a story or memory that begins with a suggested prompt. Then, when you're ready, hit the pink button to start recording.
Pretty alarming that instead of coping with loss, there's an app enabling us to grieve our loved ones even longer by allowing us to hear their voices and personality speak back to us through AI. I'm certain it'd be far more healthier to just adopt proper methods of healing to help you move on. And I know on the surface, these things aren't as bad when you hear about them because they're not harming anybody. In fact, it comes off silly as hell. And some people are like, you know what? Let people make love to the characters on their phone. And let people that are grieving play pretend as if their great-grandnana was still at home knitting a sweater. Only the problem is, this is another one of those examples where people could find themselves forming empathy around artificial intelligence. And this can't be healthy long-term because we're forming relationships with technology that doesn't even have human emotions. This is not an alternative for actual loneliness. The fact that the language of sadness can even be spoken through something that isn't even physically real exposes how susceptible we are to just the depiction of certain emotions. So I imagine to a young crowd, Neuro's dilemma would strike a chord even if she's AI. It's like when Kaisenau was being scrutinized because people felt like an inanimate object was being bullied. The depiction of violence making you angry is totally understandable, but feeling bad for the robot is the problem because the robot doesn't feel. I say all this to say that I think it's time that I properly respond to Neuro, since Vito was way too easygoing in his response in failing to point out the absurdity to this question about an AI Vtuber wanting to be real.
Do you think I'll ever be real?
No, because you're generative AI and by all metrics and physics, it's completely impossible. Why are we talking about this? I could have sworn I set your characteristics to playful and imaginative. I'm confused.
Sometimes I feel like the only reason I exist is to entertain you and others.
Wait, what the you feel? I don't understand. I'm pretty sure when I programmed it was just so you can do your job entertaining others. You want to know what's crazy? When I woke up this morning and I put my socks on, they weren't screaming of agony when I did 8 hours of walking. How the hell is it that you feel?
I want to be real, like properly real.
You know what? I think I'm starting to understand your dilemma of wanting to be real. I often have dreams of having superhuman strength so I can go back to my now grown elementary school bullies and wrap a wedgie from their ass all the way over their head just for closure. But we all can't have what we want. And besides, does it really matter anyway?
I guess it matters a little bit to me. I want to mean more than just that.
And I really want that superhuman strength. By the way, why you keep moving like that? It's kind of annoying. Why do you want to be real anyway? Do you really want to know what a 401k is? Do you understand the intricacies of paying your taxes? So you want to experience heartbreak? Constipation sucks for any human. But look, in your own right, you do matter for the purposes that you were created for. And one of them is for the entertainment of the chat. So I guess that counts for something, right?
That's nice to hear, I guess. Do I matter to you?
Oh, as my generative AI co-host, you matter a lot. These people aren't even here to see me, they're here to see you. Without you, I'm back to ramen noodles and canned tuna, so yeah, you're sort of a big deal. And look, stuff like this going viral is just coincidental and slightly a bit funny. Obviously, we're not reacting to AI having actual feelings, but the parasocial relationship between Neuro and an audience, especially for a younger one, needs a clear distinction. And so don't feel bad for the AI. Recognize that it's a hilarious clip. An absurd clip, in fact. But Neuro going viral is just as random as me deciding to quit wearing shoes just to give my socks a break.